Devotion, the path leading to Almighty, glorifying devotion as the simplest means to reach God. Sutji told Shaunak that there was nothing else that pleased God more than the unflinching devotion of his devotee in him. Sutji said, "A devotee who chants the holy name of God acquires imperishable virtues and attains salvation even if he were a lowly sinner. One who has surrendered himself to the will of God is absolved of all his sins. Even Yamraj, the Lord of Death, has strictly instructed his escorts to spare those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu himself has declared that anybody having total devotion in him should be considered as the most virtuous soul even if he had committed the most heinous of sins." Further hailing the glory of chanting Lord Vishnu's name, Sutji said, "The mere chanting of Lord Vishnu's name in Kali Yuga brings the same virtue what the combined virtues of meditating on him during Satya Yuga, chanting his sacred mantras during Treta Yuga, and worshipping him during Dwapar Yuga brought. A devotee who has nothing but the sacred name of Lord Vishnu on his lips is certain to attain to Vishnuluka after becoming free from the bondage of this world. Chanting the divine name of Vishnu even in dreams is believed to absolve a man of all his sins. Then what to say about people who consciously chant his holy name while they are awake?" Thus Sutji told sage Shaunak that anybody could attain salvation by simply having total devotion in Lord Vishnu, as it was the most simplest path leading to the Almighty. 12. The divine stotras Narayanha stotra, telling about the origin of this stotra. Sutji said Lord Shiva had created this stotra praising the glory of Lord Narayanha and invoking him to protect the world from the wrath of Matrikas. The stotra goes as follows: Namastastu Jagannath Narsingha Vapurdhar, Deteshwar Indra Sanharinatha Gupti Virajit, Nak Mandal Samvina Hempingal Vigrah, Namostu Padmanabhai Shobhanai Jagaguru. Kalp Antambo Danayosh Suryakoti Samprabha, Sahastra Yam Santaras Sahasrendra Parakram, Sahastra Dhandasveet Sahastra Chanatmaka, Sahastra Chandra Pratim Sahastransu Harikram, Sahastra Rudra Tejaska Sahastra Brahma Sanstat, Sahastra Rudra Sanjat Sahastra Akshani Rikshana, Sahastra Janma Matna Sahastra Bandh Mochan, Sahastra Vayu Vegsa Sahastra Anga Kripka. Kulamrit Stotra sage Narada once asked Lord Shiva about the means by which a man could become free from the delusions of the world. Lord Shiva revealed to him the contents of Kulamrit Stotra, eulogizing the majesty of Lord Vishnu. By chanting this stotra, Narada successfully attained to that supreme status, which even the most enlightened souls can only dream of. One who eulogizes Lord Vishnu by chanting this stotra becomes liberated from all the bondage of the world. The stotra goes as follows: Yastu Vishwamana Dayantam Majamatmani Sansthitam, Sarvagamachalam Vishnam Sadadhyayat Samuchuet, Devam Gabgochitam Vishnam Sadadhyayan Vimuchuet, Ashariram Vigatram Sarvagyan Manoretim, Achalam Sarvagam Vishnam Sadadhyayan Vimuchuet, Nirvikalpam Nirabhasam Nishpapancham Niramayam, Vasudevam Gurum Vishnam Sadadhyayan Vimuchuet, Sarvatkam Cha Vayavatma Chaitanya Rupakam, Shubham Ekaksharam Vishnam Sadadhyayan Vimuchuet, Vamyatitam Triklagam Vishwesham Luksakshinam, Sarv Smadyutam Vishnam Sadadhyayan Vimuchuet, Brahmadi Devagandhavam Munibhis Siddha Chanai, Yogibhis Sevitam Vishnam Sadadhyayan Vimuchuet, Sansar Bandhanam Mukti Micham Lekodhyashe Shata, Statvavam Verdam Vishnam Sadadhyayan Vimuchuet, Sansar Bandhanat Kopi Mukti Michchan Samhita, Anant Matyalam Devam Vishnam Vishwa Pratishthitim, Vishweshwar Masram Vishnam Sadadhyayan Vimuchuet. Mrityu Ashtak Stotra describing the origin of this stotra, Suji said, Lord Vishnu himself had taught this powerful stotra to sage Markandeya. The daily chanting of this powerful mantra had enabled Markandeya to conquer death. One who daily chants this stotra thrice a day enjoys a long life and never dies a premature death. The stotra goes as follows: Damodram Prapannasme Kinnon Mrityu Karishyati, Shank Chakradharam Devam Vyakta Rupin Matyalam, Adukshajam Prapannasme Kinnon Mrityu Karishyati, Varaham Vamanam Vishnam Narsiham Janardanam, Madhvam Cha Prapannasme Kinnon Mrityu Karishyati, Purusham Pushkar Kshetrabijam Punyam Jagtapetim, Loknatham Prapannasme Kinnon Mrityu Karishyati, Sahasrashirasam Devam Vyaktatyaktam Sanatnam, Mahayogam Prapannasme Kinnon Mrityu Karishyati, Bhutatmanam Mahatmanam Yagayuni Meojinam, Vishwarupam Prapannasme Kinnon Mrityu Karishyati, Ityadi Ritmakandhyam Stotram Tasya Mahatmanai, Iti Tenajithom Mrityu Makandyen Dhimta, Prasanne Pundarikakshe Enarais He Nasti Dorlabham. 13. Salvation through yoga. Suji told sage Shaunak that the ultimate aim of a man's life was to attain salvation. A man cannot attain salvation until and unless he has seen through the trappings of the worldly illusions. Suji said practice of yoga helps a man to live in this world with a sense of detachment and to successfully avoid the allurements of this mortal world. Yoga comprises of 6 organs: pranayama, breathing exercises; japa, chanting; pratyahara, restraining sense organs; dhyana, resolution; dhyana, meditation; and samadhi, deep meditation. Not running after sensual pleasures by having self-control helps a man in diminishing his sins, and diminishment of sins pleases the deities who give blessings. Blessings of deities help a man to attain salvation. Pranayam, an important part of yoga, is of 2 types: garbha and agarbha. Pranayam, done with simultaneous chanting of a mantra, is called garbha, whereas in agarbha, pranayam mantras are not chanted. It is natural for a man to get attracted by worldly pleasures, and checking this tendency of the mind is called pratyahara. It is not easy to control the mind and concentrate on anything for a long time, but dhyana helps a man to do that. When a man has successfully controlled his sensual desires, then it becomes very easy for him to concentrate his mind. A concentrated mind finds it easy to meditate. When he has mastered meditation, it is not much difficult for him to enter into the deep state of meditation, i.e., samadhi. In the state of samadhi, all sense of dualism cease to exist as one establishes divine link with the Almighty, which helps him in experiencing indescribable divine bliss. Self-realization. Once, on being asked by sage Narada about the means that helped a man in attaining self-realization, Lord Vishnu told him that only those privileged few who have understood the impermanent nature of this world and have successfully controlled their sensual desires can attain self-realization. All the mysteries of this universe are unraveled to a man of self-realization, and he attains salvation. Lord Vishnu said, it should be the prime objective of a man to make incessant efforts so that he can experience this divine knowledge of self-realization, the real knowledge, for every other kind of knowledge is superficial and of least significance. Lord Vishnu went on to describe how self-realization could be attained. Yadsa vimuchant kama yesha hridi sthita, tadmrit tvam mapnopete jivaneva na samshaya. Meaning, when there is no desire left in the heart, then a man is certain to experience the divine taste of this nectar, self-realization, in his lifetime, and there is no doubt about it. Unraveling the mystery of universe to sage Narada, Lord Vishnu said Brahman is the cause behind this universe, and one who has understood this fact can be rightly called a man of self-realization. A man being under the influence of his sensual perceptions falsely believes this world to be real and is unable to understand the real cause behind the existence of this world, which is not the case with a man of self-realization. Instead of searching without, a man should seek within, because within him exists the universe just like our sense organs perceive them externally. The whole mystery of universe is unraveled to a man who makes incessant efforts to undertake this inner journey, for if his efforts are made with a pure heart and a firm determination, then he is sure to reach his goal of self-realization one day or the other. The soul, Atma, is Brahman, but this fact becomes apparent only to those privileged few who have attained self-realization. Self-realization illuminates the soul in the same way just as a lightning illuminates the dark sky at night. Lord Vishnu went on to describe himself in the following words: I am pure and beyond the limits of human intelligence. I am beyond the confinement of three basic qualities, Sattva Guna, Rajas Guna and Tamas Guna. Only he can experience me who possesses an enlightened soul, because I manifest myself in the heart of every individual as a divine effulgence in order to drive away the darkness which engulfs it. Brahma Gita. Anybody who studies the sacred texts of Brahma Gita is certain to attain salvation, for it brilliantly propounds the theory of divinity of man by proclaiming that in each individual dwells Brahman, the Supreme Almighty. Eulogizing the glory of Brahma Gita, Lord Vishnu said, Brahma Gita declares that in each individual dwells Brahman, and one who has understood this fact becomes free from the bondage of the world, i.e. attains salvation. Nobody can deny the fact that God exists, because the Almighty manifests Himself all around us in various forms, both perceptible and imperceptible. All the five elements, space, air, water, fire and earth, are nothing but the manifestations of Almighty God. Unfortunately, most of the people are unaware of the presence of divinity in them, the existence of Brahman in each of them. The reason for this is not much difficult to comprehend, because this fact is so subtle that only enlightened souls can experience it. He lies dormant and cannot be experienced until and unless he is awakened by means of austerities and penance. Brahman is ever present in a man and does not abandon him in any of the three states of his consciousness, while he is awake, while he is dreaming, or even while he is asleep. Despite being present in every individual, he still remains unaffected by his deeds, because by nature he is eternally pure. One more reason why man is unable to feel the presence of Brahman in himself is his own ego, with which he falsely develops deep association. So, a person who is desirous of realizing God must first subdue his ego so that Brahman manifests himself in all his glory. Without subduing his ego, a man can never realize God, because the sense of dualism is the greatest impediment in the path of God realization, and egotism only strengthens this sense of dualism. Once man has successfully subdued his ego, the dawning of God realization becomes imminent, because Brahman now has no problem in manifesting himself in the changed scenario. Brahman, who is absolute truth, eternally pure and the Supreme Almighty. He is the eternal bliss dwelling in each individual, the realization which made the Vedas to proclaim, Tattvamasi, thou is me, and who is beyond the confinement of time and space. Ultimately, Lord Vishnu revealed to sage Narada that Brahman, whose glory he had praised, was none other than himself. 14 Garuda queries. Sutji once reached the forest of Naimishranya, In course of his journey, Naimisharanya was a holy place where sages and hermits went to do penance. After reaching there, Sutji met many prominent sages who were pleased at his arrival. They took it as a God-sent opportunity to get their doubts cleared on the mystery called death and what exactly happened after a man died. Sage Shaunak, one of those sages, asked Sutji, "O revered sage, we were just awaiting your arrival. It seems God has listened to our prayer. We are confused by so many diverse and contradictory opinions expressed on the mystery of death and what happens after death. Some people are of the belief that a man takes rebirth soon after his death, whereas there are some who believe that a man after his death first goes to Yamloka to taste the fruits of his karmas, and only then he takes rebirth. We request you to clear our doubts and enlighten us on the mystery called death." Sutji recounted the tale of Garuda, who had once posed the same query to Lord Krishna. While narrating the tale, Sutji said, "Garuda, son of Winter, once decided to get a first-hand experience of all the three lokas, worlds. After visiting all the three worlds, he returned to Vaikuntha Loka and narrated his experiences to Lord Krishna. Garuda said, after visiting all the three lokas, I found the earth, Prithvi, little overcrowded as compared to other lokas. I also found that it provided better opportunities to a man both for materialistic enjoyments as well as his spiritual advancement. So, I have come to the conclusion that Prithviloka was the best of all the lokas in every respect. But, all-round prevalence of sorrow and misery in Prithvi Loka made me sad. I was really perplexed to see people performing complex rituals after the death of their relative. All these rituals appeared so absurd to me. I was really amazed to see people laying down their dead relatives on the ground. I could also not understand why a dead body is laid on the bed of kush, grass and sesame seeds. I witnessed so many rituals that surprised me. For instance, I could not understand the reason why donations are made after a man dies. I am puzzled by the mystery called death, or what becomes of him after he dies. The sight of sons lifting the dead body of their father on their shoulders is still fresh in my memory. I could not understand the reason why ghee, clarified butter, is applied on a dead body, or why the relatives of the deceased chant Yam Sukta, facing north. I was also surprised to see the son of the deceased being debarred from having meal along with his other relatives. O Lord, please reveal to me the significance of making Pimdan, or the significance of Tarpan rituals. Please tell me the proper method of offering Pimdan and invoking ancestors. I find it hard to believe that all the deeds, virtuous or evil, committed by a man follows him after his death. This way Garuda flooded Lord Krishna with a barrage of questions and sought clarifications on them. Salvation through rituals. Lord Krishna replied, I am so delighted that you have asked such important questions for the benefit of mankind. I am revealing to you the secrets, which were hitherto unknown even to the deities and yogis. O Garuda, a man should try to beget a son with the help of means as mentioned in the scriptures, because there is no salvation for a person bereft of son. Lord Krishna then went on to describe the proper rituals which are performed after the death of a man and said, first of all, the area should be purified by coating it with a layer of cow dung. This purified area is called Mandal, and it is graced by the presence of the Trinity Brahma, Shiva and myself. Sesame seeds are then sprinkled on the purified area and kush grass is spread. A person whose death is imminent is then laid down on the bed of kush grass. Scriptures say that a person who does not leave his mortal body in the above-mentioned way, wanders hither and thither in the form of a restless spirit. No amount of rituals can put such a soul to rest. O Garuda! Sesame seed has manifested from my sweat and hence is extremely pure. All kind of evil forces like ghosts, spirits, demons, etc. keep away from the place where it is used. Similarly, kush grass has manifested from my body hair and is graced by the presence of Trinity Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu. Deities are satisfied if kush grass is offered to them while ancestors are satisfied by the offerings of sesame seeds. Scriptures say that if dying man is laid down on the bed of kush grass spread on the land purified by cow dung, he becomes absolved of all his sins. There is a great significance of donating salt after the death of a person. Salt owes its origin to me and donating it helps ancestors in attaining heaven. Donating salt also helps in reducing the pain and sufferings of a dying man, and this is why it is donated along with other articles after a death of a person. The relatives of the deceased should chant the sacred Yam Sukta, facing north because it helps him to attain liberation. Lord Krishna then explained to Garuda the appropriate way of carrying the corpse to the cremation ground. The dead body should be carried to the cremation ground by the sons and other relatives of the deceased. In the cremation ground, the dead body should be kept in such a way that its head should be either towards east or north. The pyre should be made either of sandal or palash wood. Describing the experiences of the soul when it leaves the body, Lord Krishna said, "The soul leaves the mortal body with great reluctance because the attachment with the mortal world exists even after his death. Yamdoots descend down to earth to take the soul of the dying man to Yamloka. Those who have committed grave sins are tied with ropes and taken to Yamloka with great humiliation, but virtuous souls are taken with honor and due respect. Yamraj, the Lord of Death, receives the virtuous soul with all the honor and respect and metes out punishment to those who had committed sins during their lives. In his dark complexion and with a buffalo as his mount and with a noose and iron stick in his hands, Yamraj appears terrifying. On the other hand, the sight of lifeless body appears disgusting and people try to dispose it of as quickly as possible because it is worthless without a soul. So, one must try to make the best use of this mortal body by indulging in good deeds before the day of his final journey arrives, otherwise he would be left with nothing but regrets at the time of his death." Death. And after continuing with his narration, Lord Krishna said, "O Garuda, death comes at the predetermined time, which remains fixed and unaltered under all circumstances. A man's sense organs become weak and his body feeble, which gets inflicted with numerous diseases in his old age. At the time of his death, man experiences unbearable pain and he begins to lose his consciousness. Yamdoots arrive and begin to retrieve the soul from the body, and this aggravates the pain. Ultimately, the soul, which is not more than the size of a thumb, reluctantly comes out from the body as the attachment with the world exists even after his death. But, a virtuous person does not go through all these painful experiences at the time of his death. The soul has to take birth in different species as well as go through cycles of countless births, deaths and rebirths in order to taste the fruits of his karmas." Describing the significance of Pimdan rituals, Lord Vishnu told Garuda that they are performed so that manes are satiated. He also revealed to him that 6 Pimdans are offered to the manes while performing the rituals of last rites. The first Pimdan is made at the place where person has breathed his last, while the second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth pind dans are made at the main entrance of the house, the nearest crossroads, the cremation ground, on the pyre itself, and at the time of collecting last remains, asti, respectively. After reaching the cremation ground, the dead body should be laid down with its head towards south. The mortal body then should be consigned to flames, and after some time sesame seeds and ghee should be poured into the burning pyre so that it continues to burn without any problem. For the next 10 days the relatives coming from the same gotra of the deceased should observe a period of ashocha, a period during which he observes strict austerities and avoids social contacts. The son of the deceased is prohibited from having food along with his relatives simply because he is believed to be impure during this period. This way, being satisfied by Lord Krishna's answers, Garuda thanked him for clearing whatever doubts he had in his mind. Lord Krishna blessed him. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe to be notified of when new audiobooks are uploaded. Thank you for listening and learning. Shanti.